Well, 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 it's the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast. Old Heads Talking Ball edition with my man here, a legend, Michael, Michael Solomon. Brother man, how you doing? Before you
I'm
say
doing
that,
great, man.
before you say that, explain that painting behind you, because I love it. Is that yours or you just bought it somewhere? You bought
No,
it at
that's me.
Walmart.
That's me, man. It's available for sale online.
You're joking.
SolomonArtStudios.com. SolomonArtStudio.com.
What's the painting called? This one there particular.
It's called Block Party.
Like a Blocko
Block,
back in the day at
like a
44
block.
St. George
Exactly.
in
Blocko.
Toronto?
Yes, you got it. And the different color of people and all the different emotions that we have when we're doing these things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
about the
free.
music, the dance, the festivities. Reminds us how we used to live life back in the day, you know?
Freedom
All
personified.
part of those things. Yeah.
Freedom personified. Michael, welcome to the show again. You're a basketball head. You've been all the way over the place in the world. People have heard your bios on every other show. Maybe not tonight, but baby, tell me something. The Raptors won 137 to 115. And full disclosure, I didn't watch a minute of this game. But that ain't never stopped me from having an opinion. You know what I mean?
I hear
Michael,
you.
let's
Watch the
talk about
replay, man.
let's talk about this game. Dude, I looked at the stats and I was flummoxed and flabbergasted. Norman Powell, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Siakam, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Kyle Lowry, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. That's 3 of the 5 starters who already got like 28, got about 8, 60, 70 something, nearly 80 points. Van
Yeah.
Vliet, low night for Van Vliet, 14, 4, and 7. Baines, 8, 4, and 4. Just between the starters, let me see if they won the game. 28, 26, 21, 14, and 8. You got a hell of a mathematical mind, Michael. What's that? What's 28, 26, 21, 14, and 8?
No, but I have to take time for that, man. That's not my forte.
Oh shit. I
But
guess
however, you know what?
no one's gonna call you Einstein or
No,
me.
no, that's for sure. That's for sure.
And then below that, Boucher, 17 points, 16 rebounds in 24 minutes. Let's go with him. We'll go back there because Terrence Davis had 13, 2 and 0. Bambry had 10, 3 and 3. That dude I know you want to talk about. But let's start with Chris Boucher. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 or 10 from free throws, 1 or 2 from threes, 6 or 7 free throws, 2 fouls, 24 minutes, no steals, 2 blocks. Is that efficiency or what?
That's what you call efficiency. I mean, the young man is just playing out of this world. I mean, he is. Everybody knows that name Boucher now,
Dude,
especially the NBA.
absolutely. Now they got to scout that brother.
Oh, they're scouting him.
They got the Boy Scout, that brother of America.
But today's game was a nice game for the Raptors. They had an easy game tonight. They didn't have to work too hard because the defense of Washington is very
atrocious, bottom of the league, kind of, right? Bottom
so
dwellers.
it made for an easy night for us, and the bench guys got a chance to play tonight. Everybody that played well. It's hard not to play well when you're playing against a team like Washington. But we need games like this,
Of course.
But hope it doesn't put us to sleep, because after winning a game like this so easy, you tend to just sort of get lethargic and settle down. We have to make sure we don't do that come next game.
Because Michael, we moved from wherever we were, 14th or whatever, to winning that last game there, and then we were at 8th. And between us, we were like what? Let me see, 11-13,
Mhm.
and number 4, we're number 8, and number 4 is Boston with 12-13, one game above 500.
Yeah.
Michael, we put a couple more wins in a row, and we could be number 4 seed in like a couple of days, really.
Damn. Yeah. We listen. I have no worries where the Raptors are concerned right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're playing well. We have good chemistry. We're solving some of the problems that we saw initially that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait for our guys to get better. When OG comes back to the lineup, Raptors are a serious threat. You know,
But
here we go again. Raptors are going to be coming to the top of the Eastern Conference.
so they definitely have upped their defense and they've upped their offense. So they're up in the top of the league in both of those things right now, I believe. You know
They
what I
moved
mean?
the ball. They moved the ball very well today. Very unselfish play.
And
Everybody got the ball.
that's the key. So you think that Night Nurse Nick, our coach, has learned from maybe that little escapade when he got kicked off and ejected for those 2 unnecessary technicals, and that Griffin showed that mix it up, baby. This is what we are, what we've been, and what we're going to be, and use some interesting lineups there where Bambry was bringing the ball up, and I'm sure they're going to use that much more because that dude is like a point forward or whatever he is, a point wing.
He's a guard. He's a guard. He's an all-around player, man. He plays every position, really. He does everything you want him to do. Hustles. He doesn't. I mean, he shot a very high percentage tonight.
Yep. What is it? What is it? Let me
Bembry was
see.
405. 405 from the field.
Oh, yes.
Two
That's
of
excellent.
two of
That's
two
excellent
of
for
two
him.
from three.
10
And
points.
yeah, and there you go. He shot only 5 times, right? He just playing within the system, doing what he does, right? If everybody do what they do best,
Mm-hmm.
we're laughing. We have a great chance.
Because
To beat
Michael,
them.
if you check it, we actually are probably a better team than last year in terms of, for instance, we spoke
How
earlier
is
about Boucher actually doing like tonight, for instance, doing 16 and 17 or 17 and 16. Um, which actually generally, if you go back and check the records, is probably what the average of what Serge and Gasol would do
together?
regularly. After what, sometimes Serge will do a big game, but Gasol never does a big game. So that average will be brought down. So I think that we've replaced Gasol and Serge by Boucher. I
Yeah,
think I thought that he should have held on to Randall Hollis Jefferson, but Bambi gives us way more,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
same thing that he gives, but way more, and he's a scorer too, and he can move the ball. So excellent move right there.
Yeah.
Fred is into his zone, got the 54 points and so on. Lowry is getting 3 pointers that he don't get all the time, right?
Mhm.
We're still waiting on Norm is kicking. Norm is kicking as a starter.
Norm is in the zone, man. Norm does. It's funny, Norm does better as a starter
Of
than
course he does.
he does coming off the bench.
Hmm.
And I think just for that reason, I would start him. Just because he
Me,
gives us so much more production when
me
he's in
too.
that role,
Me too.
right?
Which the coach has got to adjust. Which brings me to the thing. Um, Lowry's doing fine. I mean, the starters did pretty well most of all. Fred's numbers were down a little bit low. Boucher stepped up. Davis had 13 and 2. Bemby had 10, 3 and 3. Um, wow. Matt Thomas got into game for how many minutes? He scored one. No, he didn't score any points. He had one
Briefly.
rebound. How many minutes did that dude play? Let me see. How many minutes?
No, he
He
got
played
shown
two
some minutes.
minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
That was garbage time. I guess it was garbage time for
Not,
him.
not garbage. I can just try to see what give him a little bit of a run. We don't know what Matt's problem
Michael,
was.
Michael, if you
What
give
not?
a man 2 minutes in the game at the end, That is garbage time. What do you mean give him a run? Give him a
I
run
don't
with
know.
the
I don't know when he
garbage?
came on. I'm hoping it wasn't at the end of the game.
Dude, are they gonna put him in when the game is up on the line, or are they gonna just bring him in for
But,
2 minutes?
the game was never on the line. That's why the
Exactly.
Steelers played
So,
so many players.
so,
You know.
so what's your point
My
about
point
Matt
is,
Thomas? They gave him a run.
but they give him a run. They want to see something. You know, maybe they put him in at a particular moment of the game. You know, coaches do all kinds of stuff to see what you got. You know,
Boy,
and like I say, he is on the he's on that list. He's just sitting to the side there. They're gonna do what they
dude,
want with him.
Michael, I would nominate you and vote for you for dog catcher in any of the regions of Toronto and Scarborough, because that
Okay.
dude is in the doghouse, and you're talking about him like you know, like you're a dog catcher.
Well, we
Yeah.
gotta keep our eyes on him. Yeah, we gotta keep our eyes on him. Wow, 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 PO,
Whippy
baby.
yo, why must I be like that? Why must I chase the cat? Just a dog in me. Ooh, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
But Michael, what do you see in this team tonight that goes forward? Because right now it looks like we're number 8. I haven't checked to see where we are. You know what? I should do that, but I'll do that as we talk, right? But if this team they've won what 5 out of 6,
Yeah.
which is excellent, right?
Mhm.
From where we came. So we can put together another 5 out of 6. We probably be number 2 in the fucking East, really.
At this stage, we can do just about anything. Just wait and see what the boys do, man. They're playing well. They've got confidence. They can trust in each other now. They had a game like this, and the starters got decent minutes. They didn't get too many minutes, like 32 minutes average kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, they did 19 3-pointers
didn't
tonight.
show any rust from having those back spasms. You know,
They
but
did 9.
we had very rounded scoring today. Everybody scored a bit.
Yes.
When that happens, the superstars don't need to turn it on, really, in terms of scoring. It's just about sharing the ball, sharing the wealth.
Michael, we are now the 5th seed in the East at 12-13.
There you go.
Right behind Boston, number 4 at 12-11.
We play Boston next, do we?
I'm not sure, but if we win them, when they're 2 games ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we can win. So we put 2-3 in a row. We're the number 4 seed, guy.
Well, you know, at this point, I'm not even concerned about what seed we end up in. Whatever seed we end up, we're going to be a problem for the rest of our division, Eastern Conference.
But Michael, the problem though we have is that we still have a problem, a glaring problem. It's an open secret about the center position. So are you confident that Baines can do 8 4-4 like he did tonight consistently? Because I would take that from him. I thought the second he should be doing 8-8-8 or 8-8-4.
I'm not confident of that. But in a game like today, where you have an opponent that really, you know, can't do much with you, it's an opponent that makes life too easy sometimes. You know, they can make you get complacent. And because of that, everyone got a chance to run, you know, see what the chemistry is. And moving forward, they got an easy game. They got an easy game today, so they rested for the next game. Put it that way.
What about the performance of Night Nurse Nick, our coach?
It's hard to coach bad in a game like today, man. He played everyone. Everyone got a run, and the ball was moving. Their defense was good. They ran the plays. You know, it was like a clinic out there, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was
So we're back to where he was before, because he got very conservative there for a while, like echoes of our foundation pound rock coach Dwayne Casey.
Well, you know, like I said before, we have such a small sample. We gotta wait many games into the future before we we can really say anything.
Yeah, you can wait. I ain't got the time, brother. I'm sorry, I ain't got the time. You got the time to wait. What time is it? Hey, it's above time. Brother should have been here 15 minutes ago. I ain't waiting but another 2 seconds.
But once we got it going, man, that's all I care about. Once we are going and we're winning games, and we're scaring the hell out of the rest of the NBA. That's what I like.
I'm telling you. So, Michael, are you saying then that you don't think that there's a lot of rumors out there about moving Lowry, for instance, especially because we got 30 million with him, and we can get some treasure trove from a few teams. I like some of the things that, for instance, Dallas might offer. I don't like what Chicago. Well, in some ways, maybe what Philadelphia might offer. But of course, I don't think we should go for Drummond. I would take Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee or the other brother Allen instead of the 28.5 millions from Drummond. So of all of the rumors you've heard, of course, there's no secret that Miami has been enamored of Kyle Lowry. You know what I mean? And a number of other teams, of course. Don't talk about the New York Knicks, who we can fleece any time of day if your name is Masai Ujiri. What do you think is going to happen, and what do you consider should happen?
I think we should hold on to Laurie. Hold on to Laurie another year.
And you get that 30 million, and he comes off the cap space.
Yeah, he is worth it. I mean, he has carried us this far. He's worth it. He's in his last few years in the NBA. Who knows? Let's see. If we got a chance to go back to the finals this year or to the Eastern Conference playoffs, we need a player like Lowry. Right? I'm
You're
surprised
right.
that we're doing so well so early, the way the team started off, But
no, I think so, because
when the center is the only position, like I said, that I would really tamper with right now.
Sorry, the center?
Yeah, that's the only position I would tamper with.
Exactly, but then give me some names, Michael Solomon. Come on, brother. Give me some names.
JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, all those kind of dudes, even though they're long in the tooth, they're smart players. They got size. They can bounce. They can bounce guys out of the way, man. They
put their hands up and stuff. You know what I mean?
These guys, they play very physical. They're playing very physical, and that's what we need.
Get it going. I'm telling you, we need a tough guy. Or we even need, tell the truth, Michael, a fake tough guy.
A fake tough guy. Like, look at how Robin Lopez played today. He was a serious problem for us in there. He was getting his way, just that he didn't get much minutes. He got 18 minutes. Sorry,
you're forgetting that I didn't watch the game. How did he play?
Robin Lopez had 18 minutes, but
he had what?
Well. Whenever he got the ball, it was 2 points. I'm surprised that Washington didn't go to him more. I would have. I mean, regardless of who your horses are, if a guy is scoring so easy on the inside, you need to go to him. That's some bad coaching on Washington's part.
Of course, that's coaching 101. I could do that, and I haven't coached nobody but my left foot.
Oh, man. Coaching is, I was surprised. Westbrook, he doesn't seem to do that much, but he ends up with good stats. Playing a more settled game. He's not forcing things as much as we used to him doing. But him and Beal, that's not enough for us, man. They need to come stronger than that to give us a problem.
Of course.
And they give Brooklyn Nets a serious problem, right? They want to beat them. That's to wins the game with Westbrook.
Cleveland beat the Brooklyn Nets 2 games in a row, bro.
Yeah.
We beat them.
They have a lot of problems they have to work on, obviously.
It's going to take a while.
Let's hope they ever get a chance to do it as the season goes on.
And Michael, also, we might be seeing the requiem of the so-called 3-headed superstars where a lot of times that's not enough unless you have a solid core of supporting casts.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
don't think the Brooklyn Nets have that. They don't have a Golden
They
State
don't.
hat. They don't have a Golden State hat, for instance. They don't
No.
have what the Miami Heat had. They don't have the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron going back there. They don't have what the Raptors have. You know what I mean? They do
But
not have a
yeah.
supporting cast. And that's
Mhm.
the problem with a lot of teams, right? Which is why I think that if Night Nurse Nick gets back to his coaching fundamentals, the Raptors, even shy of getting another player, if we don't make a move, right? We teach, for instance, we teach vociferously Baines to make those threes. We get Stanley Johnson in the gym. Dude, here's a bed, here's a cot over here. You know what your job is for the next 2 days? We got 2 days off. Just shoot threes. You know what I mean? All of those players that they back offer, teach them to shoot threes. We did 19 threes tonight, guy.
Yeah.
And like all across the border. Let me see shit. You
We
got
were
it?
19 of 32. They were 12 of 41.
You got the list of who did what? Because I'm telling you, like all the way from the bench upwards, everybody was like clicking 3 or 4, 4 or 4, 2 or 4, 2 or 3.
Yeah, man. Listen, 19 of 32. We hit more than half of our threes. So that's, you can't argue with that, man.
Yeah, but I wanted to go through the threes. Let me see. Okay. Shit. Oh no. That's my Miami, Philadelphia halftime.
Get them back to the Brooklyn Nets. You
Yeah.
know, the three-headed, they have three superstars, but they had to just bear everybody out to get those guys, you know?
Plus,
So they
Michael,
are going to be very busy during the trade deadline, trying to build that team up because
yeah,
as the team stands right now, there's no way they get to the NBA Finals.
but brother, who do they got to trade? Like who they got that anybody want? Or who's going to give them something that's valuable? If you have a fire sale, I ain't sending my fire sale to the Brooklyn
No,
Nets right now. Whether I'm in
no.
the East, whether I'm in the West, and especially if I'm in the East,
Mhm.
I don't see how they can get anybody for whatever they got to trade with, right?
Well,
If
the way trades go these days, Clifton, every time there's a trade, it's a big surprise, and you scratch your head. How did they do that? How did they get this done?
so, you
So
think maybe that our Canadian boy there, man, might be able to make a move there. That Steve Nash might be able to somehow through his connections, because he's been on a lot of teams, consult with a lot of teams. He's been around the world, like Lisa Stanfield, been
but
around the world. I see my baby, yeah, I don't have baby. Steve Steve Nash has been around the world in the NBA, but does he
they
have
have to
that
make
kind
moves.
of cojones to get stuff done?
They have to make moves. But if they don't make moves,
What
I don't think
moves
they have a
though?
chance of winning.
What moves, Michael?
Picking up support players who can really do something than what
For
players,
who?
players
Who they
got.
gonna give up to get up some
Uh,
support?
They don't have nobody to give up.
Dick, so what they gonna do?
The only give up they can do, the biggest thing that can happen is for them to say, get rid of one of their big scorers.
It'll probably be
If I was
Kyrie. If they do
Kyrie,
that, I think it'll be Kyrie.
yeah, that's who would be. If I was, I'm not the G. If I was it, I
If
would
you're
get with
ex,
Kyrie. And you
if
can
you
get a boatload of supportive players with Kyrie.
because if you're ex Raptor New Zealander who is the head honcho in New Jersey, what's his name again? Sean
Um,
Marks,
Sean Marks, that's right.
ex Raptor. Remember, he had a cup of coffee, as Chuck Swirsky would say back in the day. He had a cup of coffee with the Raptors, right?
Yeah, yes.
If you were ex Raptor Sean Marks, because right now you're right, you can get a boatload of folks for Kyrie Irving. You can get it,
Yeah.
like the Clippers could use him, Dallas could use him. I mean,
Another team could
Shit.
use him.
The Heat could use him. Shit.
Yeah.
Philadelphia could use him. There's a lot of stuff that you can get. A lot of stuff. I told you some of the packages out there for Lowry, for instance, at 30 million. And I don't know what, I think Kyrie makes around the same thing or whatever. So they could get a shitload of players and have Durant and Harden. They could get a number of complementary players.
That's what I would do if I was them.
Yeah, but
That's the only, because that's the only thing they have to trade.
so
Right,
who does that? Who does that brave movement comes from, right? Because generally speaking, it comes from the coach, doesn't it? In terms of like you like, I want these players, or is it the GM that says, you know, I want
The GM makes those decisions.
so it's up to Sean Marks then to make that move. Will Steve Nash get the accolades and not the other side of it? Is he destined to be a guy who is overarched by the GM, and who, because he wasn't able to corral his 3 superstar players? You know what I mean? He said himself that he might not have been ready for coaching, is what I understand him saying, that he got the gig when there are others out there who might have been able to get it. And they supplied him with D'Antonio and all kind of assistant coaches, right?
Yeah. But they have this thing where
is Steve Nash over his head? Is Steve Nash over his head?
I wouldn't say so. His qualifications are stellar, but as a player,
absolutely,
at the position he played, he's a coach on the floor.
You
know? But for them to do what they would like to do, which is win this year, win right now, they don't have the team to do that.
And I don't think they can get the team to do that, Michael.
Not this year.
Absolutely. So they've made their bed, and now either if they don't make a move right now, then they have to use what they got. And there's no way with DeAndre Jordan playing significant minutes in any kind of playoff scenario with the East, the West, the North, or the South, that is going to be really not detrimental to the Nets.
No, the Nets are not a bother this year, as far as I see.
Absolutely. Philadelphia, they've been talking about Philadelphia. Well, Philadelphia or Boston, you go to whichever one of them. Let's see if we can break that down.
Philadelphia and Boston, those 2 teams don't need to do any trading. They got their team set, really, when you think about it.
Yes, but how do they match up then if we get rolling? We've been doing what we've been doing, Michael, without OG Anunoby, who's been giving us stats. OG fills up the stat thing, man, all the way. Steals, blocks, deflections that we don't get, rebounds, points, 3-pointers, and getting up on motherfuckers' chest. Yeah. Gaming on you. Can you feel my breath?
But the man's a beast.
I'm telling you.
But it's amazing. This year, he seemed like he got bigger.
Absolutely. And more imposing.
Oh yeah. And he can move anybody out of the way. I think he might be able to move Kawhi out of the way.
I'm telling you, he's been doing that. And I wait forward to when that becomes a highlight, because tell you the truth, Michael, I've always said, man, we need, and I thought Serge was going to be it, and Serge had a little bit of flare up with that, but we need always with the Raptors to have a Charles Oakley, Charles Barkley, and Lambert.
I know you like your enforcers, Clifton. You love your enforcers, but that enforcer type basketball isn't being played anymore.
Hold on. Then let's bring it back.
Right up there, bring it back. Those guys gonna be spending a lot of time on the bench because the fouls come too easy these days. The game's a soft game now. You bring that big game back, they're gonna have to change the league up totally. Because a lot of guys would not be able to play when there's hand checking.
Mhm.
Everybody's gonna have to be in the weight room. That's a totally different kind of game. You got to be strong, not just quick, to play a game like that.
Michael, you know that's one of the things that they hold against our boy from Montreal, Chris Boucher. That somehow, if you start him, he's going to like a three. He's going to get like 3 fouls, like back in the day with like Willis. What you talking about, Willis? You got 2 fouls and you just got in a minute ago. Remember when we had Willis, chiseled brother, and he
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into the
Oh,
game
yeah.
and he got like 3 fouls in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, man with the shortest arms in the NBA.
But buff though, wasn't he buff?
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He could bounce the other way.
And that brother could dress too. I think I knew
Yeah,
a
I heard
tailor
that.
used to
Yeah.
make his suits. But Michael, where we going then? Like where we going? Like what we need? You think we don't need anybody, or what do we got to do? Is it the coach? How do we get to that thing? Because I think the East is there to be taken.
He's just there.
There's
I mean,
nobody in the East that
I
I'm
expect,
afraid of.
but with Boston, let's go talk with Boston. Boston is a team that not that they have a good coach, they have a coach that the players respect. They got a players coach in Doc, and those guys are playing now.
Mm.
He's bringing everything together.
And energize them, yeah.
They're playing well together. That's the team I'm worried about more than anything else.
But you know something about Doc? I think that Doc has been absolutely overrated after that stellar time he was with in Orlando. Remember when he got one of his first gigs in Orlando, and them teams were going there?
Yeah, yeah.
And after that, I think he lucked into the Boston thing. After that, he hasn't been able to show anything. How many years did he spend with Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan in his prime? You name it, man. You don't spend like 4 or 5 years with all them stellar talents and don't get yourself into the fucking Western Conference playoffs, man. Doc has been a dud, D-U-D, baby. So I don't really think that he can really coach Night Nurse Nick if Night Nurse Nick sticks to his guns and his cojones.
Listen, when you have the right players, it makes it a whole lot easier to coach.
But you have to use the right players the right way. A lot
Yeah,
of
well,
coaches think that, like for
you have
instance,
to coach. You
on
have
the
to
face
coach.
of it, you think that okay, he got Simmons, he got Embiid. Just don't even think about the rest of the roster. You got those 2 guys. You think that you should be a winner. You should be a championship winner, wouldn't you?
No. Those 2 alone can't do it. They've had them for a longest while. You can see those 2 alone can't do it.
But who else they got
Oh man,
that could do it?
I don't have ready access to the names. I'll tell you in a second.
Because they let go my dude who was in with the Boston there for a while, right? Who spent like a cup of coffee with them.
Mm-hmm.
But are you scared of them as a Raptor fan? I ain't.
I'm not afraid of them. They're going to be a problem. I am. I will be watching everything they do because they have a good. Doc is a good coach. He knows his X and O's, and he knows how to work with the players' emotions. He can deal with them on that level. Player coach level. He can deal with them on that level. So
all right,
with that kind of a platform, he can get he should be able to get a whole lot out of those guys right now. And Philadelphia is hungry for a win. They're hungry to get to the playoff, to a championship game.
Michael, we've talked before that the Raptors have beaten, have gotten 4 of their 5 games or 5 of their 6 last games. So there are a lot of teams we went through, a lot of coaches we went through. What makes Doc so superior to all of those people that we have beaten on the way to beating him in our next game whenever we meet up with Philadelphia?
But Doc is a proven coach. He's a proven coach. He knows the game. He is well respected.
Of what? Of what, Michael? After the one time they won Boston, that shit was like 85 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, regardless, it's not easy to win a championship in the NBA, as you well know.
Of course.
We came and did it in 25 years. The NBA teams that's been out there forever and have never got it.
But dude, you win the championship 85 years ago. You shouldn't be talking about it today. You should win one now. And they'll be giving us nostalgia like there's no tomorrow.
But the last time they won a championship was when Dr. J was in town.
No,
right?
I'm talking about Doc as the coach. He hasn't been able with a stellar team in LA Clippers with Chris Paul, with DeAndre Jordan, with you name it. He had a stacked team. Wasn't able to do nothing with them for like 4 or 5 years together.
Yeah, that was a huge disappointment.
So what's
I mean,
his excellence?
they had some serious injuries too. I mean, Blake Griffin spent a lot of that time injured.
All right.
You know.
Well, then we are gonna have to go back and apologize to a whole bunch of mediocre coaches in the league over the years, because they had injuries too.
Yeah, that's basketball, man. It's a game. It's a game of numbers. I mean, things. But when you think something is like some team has, this is a fantastic team, and they don't have the right chemistry, things happen.
Even though you have some excellent players,
Even though you have an excellent coach and you have some excellent players, you have players who are excellent that just don't blend well together, like Simmons and Embiid.
You think like I do that one of them guys should have been traded or should be traded or will be traded?
It's possible. If it doesn't happen, if they don't do anything this year and they keep those guys, it will definitely happen next year.
Because one of the reasons that Doc took the gig that he said publicly was that he thinks he can make it work. He thinks he can make Embiid Simmons work. Now, Embiid's been doing well, Simmons been doing well, but it's not just those two guys though. It's like you got to make the team work, right?
Yeah.
And at this time, at least they're number one in the East, so you got to give it to them. So that you have to say, well, Doc is doing it. Well, will Doc be doing it 10 games from now, 15 games from now, 20 games from now, and more importantly, when we get to the playoffs? Doc has never done well in the playoffs since that last championship he won with
Boston, with Garnett.
In Boston with Garnett and all them dudes 25 years ago.
It's not that long ago, bro. It seems like it, but it's not that long ago.
Michael, what's been the resiliency and is there something in the DNA of the Raptors organization itself? And I emphasize organization, right? In terms of they've been disappointing, but they have been exciting.
Yeah.
They've put your blood pressure up and they bring it down. They disappoint you, and the next thing you're cheering for them. Yeah. They'll break records left, right, and center 1 or 2 nights in a row and make you say, wow, we got it. It's a roller coaster, baby. Say what? Roller coaster. Pow, pow. Say what? It's Ohio players, baby. Roller coaster.
Nice to have a team like the Raptors, man. It's nice. Year after year, they're always in the story. You know, they've been in the conversation for the last, say, 8 years.
Or more, 50, 60 points a game, a year. I mean, games, wins.
So I'm gonna keep backing them or riding them until I can't see them really disappoint me. Every time they disappoint me, they come back and do something good the next day, you know.
But come on, Michael. I know you like Messiah, you Jewy like I do, or maybe even more. You know what I mean? But hasn't the brother been a little, for me, he's been a little silent over the little while. I know, like some kind of farts, silent and deadly. All right, so
Well, he was his case got thrown out today. He was totally vindicated.
Oh, it's been all over the internet. You couldn't wake up to yesterday afternoon and didn't know that shit was happening. But he has been silent. So, and of course, all of the leaks we've heard about Raptors are interested in Drummond, and half of the Raptors brain trust think that law we should be traded. We know that the Raptors really don't ever leak. However, they may have changed their tactic, but generally speaking, the Raptors never really leak, right?
No, nothing gets leaked.
So I have to assume that these are not coming. All of this we've heard this hullabaloo over the last week or two about trading Lowry, doing this, going after Drummond, to Philadelphia, to Chicago, so and so. Um, I don't buy it. But however, though, Michael,
You know
do you
something's
think
coming.
do you think Masai has a move to make, and he's gonna make a move? I
I,
feel so.
I expect so. I expect so. He has that reputation. That's what he does. That's
Is it
what he
gonna be
does.
is it gonna be a big move or just a tweak? Like for instance, I consider a tweak where you get
It
like,
should just be a tweak. It
hmm?
should just be a tweak.
I think so too, really.
If it's a big move, if it's too many players, we're not going to get to
No,
the chance to get into the
this
championships.
because what if I were in a position, what have to work against each other is one is that you know what? If we just tweak this, we can actually get to the Eastern Conference final and possibly win and possibly go on and win. There are all kind of things, variables going on, COVID testing, injuries, protocols, this and that, the other, whatever, right? We don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, some people say that the Raptors is not a depthful team, but they ain't got no depth.
They
I'd
don't
like
have
to
no depth.
I'd like to disagree with that
So
vociferously.
will I. So will I. Look at Bembry. Look at
Exactly.
Watanabe.
And not to talk about whoever we got on our two rays of the G League, because what's his name? Malachi is down there, right?
Mhm.
And Harris are two picks there, 29th and 53rd or what have you.
Listen, trust me. Coming down to when we get down to the nitty gritty,
Mhm.
Malachi is going to be in that lineup.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, baby. I'm telling you because like
They're
it's
making
one of
sure
them
he gets
things
his
where
touches now.
he wasn't getting any ride, which
No.
I think is a mistake on Night Nurse Nick's part, coach. But
No.
then go down to the G League and do your thing. Fred did it, Boucher did it, Siakam did it, and I'm telling you,
Corey
Michael,
did, Corey did it when he was here as well.
you mean Corey Joseph, my cousin?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, why not? Why not us? Speaking of Joseph, it's Dubswell at Large, Clifton Joseph. I've been talking to my man Michael Solomon here, who's a legend in his mind and in my time. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a basketball legend. He's got a whole bunch of things to say to you at some point, but not tonight because we're right here. This is the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast. I'm Dubswell at Large, Clifton Joseph, old heads talking basketball. The Raptors won. Michael won
115 to 137. One
115,
going away.
137 to 115. They won by
That's right.
20, 22 points. The Washington Wizards. Now the Raptors are number 4 or 5, Michael, in the Eastern Conference.
They're sixth. They're in sixth place right now.
Fifth, baby. What do you mean sixth?
That's what you said? Okay, you said fifth. Fifth place.
Fifth. I think they're fifth place in the East right now.
You read the standings out earlier on.
Yeah, I did. I did. Man, damn, Michael, you got me now checking myself. You know what I mean? Box score. Nah. Hey, I don't know. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, don't trick with me. Hey, when you do a live show, this is the kind of stuff that goes on. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's
And
right.
we're just checking to see how it is. Oh man, you know what? Hey, please, I failed to
Five. You're number 5, Clifton.
I thank you, Michael. I failed to say it so many times, but please like, subscribe, and I'm gonna get you to donate. You know what I mean? I need some of that patron money from you patrons so we can do what we do. You know what I mean? You notice how I got down into my voice and saying, baby, 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 money, money, money.
Whisper to them, Clifton.
God, you got to dig into that pocket and subscribe. You got to like and you got to donate. So if you want to call me personally, call me at 554-499554. Michael, how do people get to you, Michael Solomon?
Say it again.
How do people get to you?
SolomonArtStudio.com.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in a little while. Have a good night.
Peace and love.
Right on, brother.